Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, Booter Shields, Nuts, Like Service Peasant. I am a useful idiot, and today's topic is essentially Planet of Drones, Part 2. And I alluded in that video to the topic of a new paradigm shift in both strategy, tactics, and configuration of the future military. And I think we're at a serious pivotal point in military history, and even for those who are not interested in military history, this is an important topic for right now for all Americans, because this affects us as citizens too, because part of this paradigm shift is a cross-pollination between military and police. And so a lot of Americans have a lot of skin in the game as far as this issue is concerned. So anyway, in the last video, Planet of the Drones, of course, I talked a lot about robotics and new technology and drones and surveillance. And that's a huge component of this new paradigm shift in military and police strategy. So let me just get right into it, because the arrangement of all these ideas and facts will make the big picture a lot clearer. So let's just get right to it. First of all, we have a new Central Special Operations Command called SOCOM that was created recently, and it's going to put all the special forces, Delta Force, SEALs, Rangers, Marines, all under one basic umbrella command. Their initial budget is $10 billion. They have 66,000 people involved in command and 25,000 field operatives, which may not seem like a lot, but as far as Black Ops and Special Operations, which we have in over 70 countries now. So we have Black Ops and Special Forces in over 70 different countries now. But also these units and this Special Operations focus has doubled in size since 9/11. So this is where the military will now focus. And part of that, too, is the privatization interface with the military. So we have a lot of private corporations in the military-industrial complex who not only supply all this equipment, but they're also involved in design and future strategy. And so the military-industrial complex and the military itself are very symbiotic, and both are involved in developing our strategy and our foreign policy. So this new military SOCOM will be operations will only be known to the President and the Secretary of Defense and intelligence operatives. So once again, we're gonna bypass Congress, and so they're not only will the budget be unaccountable, but they also will be unaccountable to Congress or the public, and that will be the new shift. So you can already see the connection between the police state and the military, new paradigm shift in the military. The Pentagon will put elite special forces under CIA control in Iraq and Afghanistan after 2014. So, of course, that makes it easy to say we don't have any U.S. troops, because the CIA, essentially, there will be plenty of boots on the ground, as they say, but it will be under CIA control in Iraq and Afghanistan after 2014. And so that's how we'll maintain our military presence, but there'll be no oversight and no accountability. And so these CIA-run wars, and incidentally, the CIA operatives in both those countries already have a bigger body count than actual U.S. military forces. So we're seeing this paradigm shift, in real time. The CIA-run wars would mean that the U.S. public would not be informed about funding or operations. Embedded in journalists, of course, are out of the question, and the only answer to the executive branch. And, of course, this interfaces really well with a lot of the mercenary groups and private armies like Blackwater. So that is also part of the future. Will be less reliance on bulk military forces, the poverty-stricken male youth of our country being focused into a citizen army. Well, they need born killers. They need professionals, and That's why we're seeing more private military groups like Blackwater and a reliance on special forces. And of course, as I stated earlier, they're operating in 70 countries right now. So we have essentially military forces in 70 countries in the world, and most Americans aren't aware of it. They're hardly aware of the major war fronts that we're involved in. So this is a huge shift, this reliance on special forces, and of course strategically and tactically it makes a lot of sense to go in and do these operations, because we're not dealing with large, massive armies and nation states so much anymore as rogue operatives and individuals that we need a surveillance society and a police state and special forces focus in the future, because that's how that will be the future paradigm and scenario. And so part of this too is the reliance on high technology and surveillance and police states. So we're going to find more and more robotics. We're going to find drones. We're going to find human soldier augmented robotics. And there's all sorts of other interesting devices out there that the military is working on. And I'm going to do a video in the future about DARPA, which is the center focused with all the funding and all the major future weapon systems are all developed through. And I've heard said that the military technology that we see right now is 50 years behind what they actually have in prototypes. So there's all sorts of interesting new future technology. There's a really interesting new cloaking device. There's a video shown of a cloaking device being used by the military in Iraq, and that's very startling futuristic technology. They also have a new magic bullet that will actually follow you around and send information back about whoever it's tracking, and then they can decide whether they want it to kill you or not. Just amazing technology. In fact, they call that the non-lethal warhead for miniature organic precision munitions. So you got to leave it to the government, the military, to come up with these incredibly interesting titles for their hardware. And we also have recently a newly created defense clandestine service that will interface with the CIA. So this is another paradigm shift in this new future military that is here with us now. They will have major targets besides those in war zones, which I thought was an interesting topic, which means that the CIA will have military operations in all kinds of countries in the world, but we won't necessarily have to have any sort of acknowledgement that we're involved or there's a war zone. So that's the new paradigm shift. Perpetual war on a global level with no accountability, no oversight, no information about funding, and relying on mercenaries and special forces. So it's kind of an interesting paradigm shift. I mean, one has to ask the question, who are the terrorists now? I hate to go there, but it certainly goes hand in hand with all the new legislation we have about the new police state, the new military, the new way that we operate in a preemptive war environment on a global level. And going hand in hand in that, of course, is the way that military technology is used in war zones, and now all that same hardware is being interfaced into our police forces here domestically. So the entire global environment is being put over into a huge global dragnet, American dragnet surveillance state military industrial complex with black operatives operating everywhere. Very sinister and futuristic scenario. So yeah, now we have the police forces have all sorts of military technology, and of course all this technology is paid for by money that's provided to them by the government through Homeland Security. So our government is paying for the militarization of our police, so the police don't really have to generate the revenue to buy all this new weaponry. And of course they love all these new toys, so they have drones, they have noise machines, they have mass deployed sedatives, and we've seen those used, drugs being given to protesters, laser blinding dazzler systems, shockwave area denial systems, active denial systems, sound cannons, crowd tasers, covert naked body scanners, armored surveillance command posts, suitcase-sized cell phone crashing devices. They actually have small suitcases they can carry around that will shut off all communications and telephones, cell phones at protest sites. And then also part of this in the future will be portable facial analysis lie detectors. So, they'll just stop you and scan you with this thing and ask you a question, and you lie about it, and you just get hauled off. So, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. If you're a military buff or a strategy buff, technology buff, police state buff, conspiracy theorist, all this is very important because this is a major shift in United States military policy, strategy, technology. Very, very futuristic, and I'm going to put a lot of interesting attachments to this video, so be sure to check them out because the future of the military is now, and it's another dark component of the partnership between government and corporations and the interface between police state and military-industrial complex. So, I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.